Hello viewers, welcome once again to another episode of your number one show, African Confessions HD, right here on Extraordinary Africa. Viewers, without wasting much of your time, let's go straight into today's confession. Hello followers of this channel, my name is Daniel Shamu, 57 years of age. I am from Marondera, Zimbabwe. I grew up in Macheke. Came here when I started working. I worked as a truck driver for the past 36 years. Earning a reasonable salary, but I never thought to invest. Our employers decided to quit transport business. This was a major blow to me. I don't even have one room in my name. I have been renting with my family for the past 25 years. Uncle, I am a failure in life. I could stay with commercial sex workers whilst my family starving in Cherima. My children even failed to finish school. They started misbehaving. I think they missed a father figure to control them. I could spend 2 months without going back home, just sending man to them without going there. Because of all this, they don't even respect me. Truly, I deserve not to be respected by my kids. I betrayed them. Luckily, my boss's son liked me so much. He gave me this lorry as a remembrance, sold other trucks, and they got out of the country. The family did not tell anyone where they were going to stay. After giving me the truck, I was so relieved. I thought it was a second chance in life. At least I will be able to buy a stand and build a permanent house for my family to stay. But that was opposite to what was going to happen. The happiness ended on the day my ex-employers left the country. From then, I am always feeling sick. I feel as if there is something in me. My sons are going mad. The lorry is unusable. Every morning I woke up to see it where I didn't park it. I sleep inside the house, but sometimes I woke up at graveyards. We called white garments prophets. They did family cleaning prayers. They said that the lorry want human blood for all this to cool down. Uncle and followers of this channel, please help me. I am at my lowest point of my life. On a day towards festive season of 2022, we woke up early with my twin brother. We needed money for Christmas and New Year. Went to the garden to reap tomatoes for market. We used to sell the tomatoes by the roadside along Cape Town, Pretoria Road. Upon arrival at the highway, a brand new BMW got off-road and parked in front of our table. I ran with a pocket of tomatoes to the car. Inside the car, there were two brown in complexion, very fat women. The one who was driving greeted me in a very polite way. She said she don't like tomatoes only, started approaching for love to me. I was shocked, being approached by a person almost 2 times older than my mother. It was like I was dreaming. She told me that her name was Priscilla, promised me to be the richest guy in South Africa if I accepted her proposal. Truly, I was tempted and accepted. She brought all our tomatoes and gave us extra money. By the time we were talking, the other lady got outside the car and started talking to my brother. Gave him a cell phone. Seems as if he accepted too. The ladies gave him a diamond necklace before they left. We went back home with a lot of money that day. Very happy, not knowing we got ourselves into trouble. When we arrived home, we discovered that this necklace is changed into a snake. We shouted seeking for help. Nobody came in time. One of our neighbors came and I started beat the snake. As the snake was in pain of being beaten, my twin brother was also in pain. As the snake was dying, my brother was also dying. The snake and my brother died at the same time. This shocked everyone in the compound. My relatives called the Sangoma so people can know what really caused the death. Before the Sangoma even came, a number called my phone. That was Priscilla. I never gave her my number. I wanted to ask where did she got my number from, but before I even opened my mouth, she told me she knew that I was going to ask her where did she got my number from. This shocked me.
She told me that she was angry about us killing the snake. This is also when she told me that I was now a member of their satanic group. The traditional healer called by relatives arrived, described everything which has caused the death from the beginning to the end. When I was asked, I kept on saying I knew nothing about the incident. Because I denied what I knew, I started having painful blisters all over my body. This came as punishment from the traditional healer. From then, all people except my mother started pointing at me, saying I was the one responsible for my twin brother's death. I was chased away from home, started staying in the streets of Cape Town. On one night in Cape Town, Priscilla appeared before me, told me that our queen mother had given me a punishment for killing the snake. The punishment was a mission to cause 100 public road accidents across Africa. She gave me 500,000 United States dollars to use on that mission, pointed at me, and all my blisters were healed. From then, I don't know what was all over me, started feeling thirst for blood. The following week, I traveled to Kenya, started staying in a hotel. My people, I want to confess, I was the one responsible for all-day commuter omnibus accident. The bus was on its way to Nairobi from rural areas. Waved my hand asking for transport. The bus stopped. I got on board. We traveled a distance of about 15 kilometers. I looked at the steering and said, Aja, kill these bullshits now. From nowhere, the driver lost control of the vehicle and swerved into the bridge. 8 people died on the spot, and 2 were left nursing serious injuries. I disappeared on the spot. I had no scratch. My suit was still smart. The next morning, I traveled to Mozambique. In Mozambique, my spirit caused so many accidents. I'm not even able to account for incidents. Responsible for the students' bus accident in Nampula, I went to school seeking for a job, and I was employed as a gardener. I watched the driver's uniform with evil metallic spirit. On a sport day, made the bus overturned. 3 children passed away at the hospital, and 45 are now living with disabilities. Quit the job and went to Zambia, where I also killed many on highways. In Kenya, I applied and pretended to be a student at Pwani University. This year, towards Easter holiday, we traveled with the university bus. I only said, Aja, kill all these cockroaches. The driver lost control of the bus, leading to the bus overturning, leading again to the passing away of students. Some were left nursing serious injuries. The more I kill, the more I feel much thirst for blood. On February 2023, I was in Cape Town. One day I passed through a churchyard. Inside there were people praying. Suddenly fell down in front of the church. Church congregants came out and I started to manifest. This is when I broke the rules of evil church I was now going. I should not expose the satanic group law. The next night, they let me sacrifice my mom as punishment. On that day, I was called to our evil worshipping mountain. We were sitting in a circle. They all called my mother's name. She came in spirit. They gave me a wooden stick and told me to beat her. I loved my mother, but there was nothing to do. That was a painful experience. At first, I beat without putting not much force. They all beat me with hot drops. It was so painful. I hit my mother twice and she fell down. At around 2 a.m. I received a call from my uncle. He told me that my mom had passed away. From then, the satanic group damned me. I saw spirits of people I killed across the continent. I tried to commit suicide several times, failing to die. Is there anyone who can help me? I am suffering. Yours faithful, Shida Andufa.
Solution. Uncle, I'm going to explain how I accidentally become a daylight prostitute and how bad it's affected my life.
I am a lady aged 45 living in Windhoek, Namibia. I'm married to this handsome and caring man. I can't mention for his own secret reasons. Due to economic hardships, a friend of mine suggested that we should go to South Africa, buying goods in bulk and sell back home. I told my husband about the suggestion and he granted me the permission. We went to South Africa, brought garments in bulk, went back home, sell. The first trip was a very successful one. We started to earn a lot of money. As time goes on, the business started to grow and we managed to look after our husbands and kids. We built shops at growth points and brought cars for our husbands. Trouble begins on November 23, 2011. Me and my friend went to South Africa to ward for festive season. On our way to South Africa, we were robbed and left with no money, dumped at a forest, which I kept trying to find transport to go back to Namibia. A family car stopped. It was driven by a male driver. We explained everything to the man. He said he was going to offer us transport, but we should pay in form of having sex with him. There was nothing to do besides to agree. We stopped several times, changing each other to have sex with the man. Arrived in Namibia, the man gave us money double to what we were going to earn by buying and selling. From then, daylight prostitution became our trade. We returned to South Africa the following week. In South Africa, I started dating a local man. I did not bother to tell him that I was married and I was a married woman. He always gave me a lot of money. I was afraid to lose him. One day, he organized an engagement party, a surprise engagement party. He wanted to surprise me, brought new clothes and shoes for me. There was no time to tell him the truth by then. We got engaged. As I speak now, we are staying together. Fellow Africans, can you please help me? I miss my true husband and kids. I'm afraid that if I tell him the truth by now, he can just kill me. Yours daughter, Auntie Joshua. I grew up living in a small compound near Johannesburg, always wishing to live in the city one day. I finished my primary and high school, went to the city seeking for a job. I started working as a maid at a house. At that house, I was staying with the employer's only child. The wife worked in a cruise in Yemen. She could come here and there that I can call once in a while. The father was a teacher at a local school. From the look of the things, the wife seems to be the breadwinner. The husband quitted teaching when they started their transport business, thanks to the wife for playing a pivotal role in funding the business. As he becomes richer, the husband started having girlfriends, sent their child to the boarding school. By then, I thought my job was over since I was employed to look after the child. I was surprised to hear the husband telling me that my salary was now doubled and I was no longer paid by the wife but him. Also lied to his wife over the phone that I was no longer staying at the home during school days and I could come during holidays to look after the child. We hosted parties every weekend. At one part, I met this guy. He was a friend to my employer, that is the husband. He approached me for love. We started dating. The guy impregnated me and we started staying as husband and wife. My husband was a truck driver. He could spend 2 to 5 months out of the country, gave birth to a dead baby. He didn't even care about the loss, only sent man for funeral. None of his relatives attended the funeral, only heard rumors that he was also married to 3 other wives. This hated me to the most extent. Is this the Johannesburg I wish to stay in? since I was staying with his young brother. I thought to revenge. Their parents died when they were still kids. The young brother is a very handsome young man, a man most ladies admires. We started having feelings for each other. Since my husband could spend 5 or 6 months out of the country without seeing me, I did this as a way to fix him. Got impregnated by the young brother. My husband heard it and went to report to my mother. He chased me and his young brother away from home, took my mom and started staying with her. Mom was once a commercial sex worker when I was still growing. She even earned my school fees by commercial sex working. Dating my husband was nothing much to her. She always told me she is going to fix me for cheating on her own son-in-law. Recently gave birth to another dead baby. My mom is sending me nude pictures of my husband. Everyone in the neighborhood is mocking